Welcome to today's show. Today we're going to talk about growing yourself as a leader. Jackie, this is one of my favorite topics that we're doing today.
I think these are all your favorite topics.
I think so. I would agree. I think so. Why is it, important that we grow ourselves as leaders? Some moms may think, well, I'm not a leader. I'm not a boss. I'm not a manager. I'm not in some corporation. But if you think about it, we are all leaders,
We all lead somebody, even if we're
Yes.
leading our children or we're leading, it doesn't mean that you're a corporate leader, but you're leading somebody. In life, we always lead somebody's always watching.
That's right. That's right. And that's something we have to remember.
Yes.
Anyone and everyone can grow in leadership, whether you're young, you're old, you're, at home or in a corporation. We all can grow in our leadership skills.
Absolutely.
Some ways that we can grow ourselves as a leader. My first one that I have here is, understanding you and who you are and how you were designed. Some ways that I've done that in my own life is like through a DISC personality test. I love the DISC test because it kind of scopes out your personality and who you are.
Right.
And I even say for me on there, I've taken it, years ago, and then I recently retook it. And I'm like a C personality, which that's that detailed, organizational personality. But I'm like a SD too. It's like my S and my D are right together. So, I like teamwork, but I like to get the job done too.
Right, yeah.
So I like that. Another tool that you can do is StrengthsFinder. I've done that, and I like StrengthsFinder. It walks you through your strengths,
Right.
Really what you're good at. And I believe on that one, they give you 5 different strengths. And, just to be kind of personal, I'll go ahead and share with you
Right.
what I'd say top 3 are. My first one is responsibility. So that's like I take ownership,
Right.
of what I'm given. And then relator, I enjoy relationship. I enjoy working in teams. I love that type of stuff. But I also love to take something that's complicated, whether it's a process or a system or something like that, and just break it down.
Oh, yeah.
Into simple terms. It's that organizational. I know you're organizational
Yeah,
administrator
that is my
too.
thing. I tell you, I love taking something that is a disaster and reorganizing it.
Yeah.
Because I truly believe there's such an accomplishment in
Yes,
that.
yes.
You know what I mean?
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah. So, one of the things that I think though is key to growing yourself as a leader is that you have to have the desire to grow as a leader.
You do.
You can easily lose the desire to grow. You're dependent on somebody else to teach you. You go to church, and not that that's wrong, but you can't go to church to get fed. Mm-hmm. You got to have that desire to set up your own conferences, to look at the scriptures, to study, to say, you know what, I want more than what I have.
Mm-hmm,
You
right.
got to have that desire, because if you don't have a desire to grow, you just won't grow.
No, you won't. And yeah.
No matter how many tests you take, no matter what you do, if you don't have the desire to grow, you won't grow.
We have to take the initiative.
Yes.
And want to do that. A mentor, someone else may believe in us, but if we don't believe in ourselves and we don't want it for ourselves, then we're not going to grow, and learn the lessons that we need to learn.
We talked on the last show, one of the shows, that, we can inspire for somebody else. Mm-hmm. You have to have your own aspirations. Mm-hmm. Cultivate that aspiration, dream again, because that's part of growing as a leader. Absolutely. Because as you dream, you're looking beyond what you're able, and you want to get there. So you start doing things to get you there.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. That's good. With leaders, some things they do is their daily habits. Our daily habits affect us, in growing as a leader. So, here are some 3 things that some top influential people do. Exercise. Not everyone loves exercise, but
I'm one of them. I'm one of them. I don't have the desire. We were talking about desire. Again, if you
Right.
don't have a desire, you won't do it. I don't
Right.
have that desire. I need that partnership
Yes.
to motivate me, you
Right.
know what I mean? And sometimes, in leadership, having a partner is good too.
absolutely.
Because you cultivate and you motivate each other
That
to grow.
accountability too.
That kind of
Yes,
yes.
yes. I always feel better though when I exercise. My mind is just in a different place. I guess it's the endorphins, but
But you're right, because I've done it too, and I feel so much better. I was like, man, I got it in, yes. But gosh, for me, it's so boring.
right. And then you have reading. Not
Yes.
all of us are readers. I understand that. Something I've done is just started podcast and audiobooks. I love podcasts.
Yeah.
One of my top, since we're on leadership topics, is like the Craig Rochelle Leadership Podcast, Carrie Newhoff. I like Matt Keller. Just different podcasts. If you're really not into reading, do an audiobook. Do a podcast.
Yeah, you see, and I'm more into the audiobook. I love my audiobooks. I got a bunch of audiobooks. I love listening to them. But at the same time, I also like reading them.
Right.
So I don't just listen. I go through my iPad, of course, that's where I got all my books, and I read them too. Because I like to highlight when certain things are key, and I be like, oh, that was really good, and I want to highlight it.
Yeah.
So, you could do a mixture of both. It's not necessarily one or the other. You can actually do a mixture of both.
I've done that. I bought an audiobook and then I bought the book.
Yeah.
So I've done that. And then just daily confessions, confessing the word of God, number one, over your
Yes.
life, but a vision for yourself. In daily confessions, I like to just confess like problem areas that I'm dealing with, or if I see something in my life that I would like to change, I'll confess the opposite of what I'm doing, or I'll confess where I want to go and see myself.
Right.
So daily confessions are
And that reminds me that the second step that I have on the list is really feedback. Because confessing that you have issues, but it's recognizing that there's a problem there. And it's critical that we accept feedback from other people. It's not a bad thing. A lot of people receive feedback, oh my God, that's a bad thing. No, you got to think of it as, wow, I have an opportunity to grow in this particular area. You see, it's not about telling you the bad news. It's about growing in the areas that we're weak. And as leaders, we have to recognize those
right.
and develop those. And those are the hard ones to develop for us because it is our weak area.
Absolutely.
But it still needs to be developed. We cannot ignore it because it's our weak area.
Absolutely. And it helps us grow.
Yes.
Yes, you should, as leaders, focus more on those strength areas, but you have to look at your weak areas.
Yes.
And that could be part of surrounding yourself with a team of people who are strong in those weak areas.
Right.
To help you grow, to sharpen you, you know, and to
Yes.
develop you. You may be strong in this area, your team member may be strong in another area. That's what iron sharpening iron, we
Does.
sharpen
Yes.
each other. So
And it goes back to the scriptures, you get wisdom, get counsel from a wise man because you will become the wiser.
Absolutely.
So, in counsel, it's not all positive, but we need to look at it as a positive, not as a negative, because looking at weak areas is not a negative.
No,
it's a
not.
positive.
Absolutely. It's
So.
just how we're built.
Absolutely.
That's okay.
Yeah,
That's
and that's
okay.
okay. And you know what? And as a leader, we need to say that's okay. Because I think that, and I can say that for myself, I was so OCD at one time of my life that it wasn't okay for me to make a mistake. And I had to realize that it's okay as a leader to make a mistake
Absolutely.
and learn from it. That's part of that failure. Failure is not a failure.
Right.
Failure is your opportunity to grow in something. To fail is to fall down and never get back up and never deal with that issue.
To stop.
Allow it to stop you.
Right.
But to fall and get back up, oh my God, that's to me encouraging. That you know what, I was in my down part, but I got back up and look where I am today.
You learn from it and you grow.
learn, yeah, and you become that much of a better leader.
That's right.
I
That's
agree.
good, Jackie. What are our personal goals? You know, our personal vision, values. You know, Habakkuk 2:2 says, write the vision and make it plain on tablets, that he may run who reads it.
Yes.
You know, the scripture says to make it plain that he may run with it who reads it. You know, if we don't have a vision for our life, if we don't have a vision for our organization or our business or where we want to go, we won't go anywhere.
That's exactly right.
You know, we'll hit that every time. We will not go anywhere. You know, if we don't know our values, you know, if our value is integrity, then when something comes along that causes us or tries to cause us to go against that integrity line, we won't go that way because we know our value,
Exactly.
you know, and what we stand for.
Yeah. That reminds me that that's why as leaders we need to refuse to settle for less. You know, we need to refuse not to be in excellence. We always need to aim for that excellence. Would we always get there? No. But at least we should aim to get there.
And have that spirit, that excellent spirit.
You know, Keisha, it's unbelievable that time has run out.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it's been a while now. It's amazing how quickly we can talk about. We got so much to say about this topic.